What is up, guys? We are back again for another Triage Chronicle video. Okay, and in today's video we're going to discuss how my diet is currently set up, because if you've been following myself or Gary for a while now on our own Instagrams or even on the Triage page, you will see that we have been dieting for quite some time. We've got a good few questions in of like, how have we got the results that we've gotten? How should we set up or how did we set up our diets? How should someone else go about setting up their diet? And we've done videos on it before, so I'm going to quickly go through where I'm currently at in terms of my nutrition, and then I'm going to show you a little bit of a physique update, and then we're going to talk about how or what I'm kind of looking for with my training currently. So this is roughly where I'm at, calorie wise, protein wise, carbs wise, fats, the whole shebang. And this is generally what we like to plan out when we talk about a diet. It's far beyond just calories and even macros. Like, you want to be going into kind of the lifestyle stuff as well. So with my calories at the moment, this is actually the lowest I've ever brought my calories. Normally I'm used to dieting on like 3,750, but I'm much less active than I usually am, because essentially I have a sedentary job and writing articles all day, responding to emails. But anyway, then after that we have our protein goal. And for me, it's roughly around 250 grams. Given that I weigh roughly 86, 87 kilos currently, I'm falling right in that kind of range. Some people like to have it a little bit higher, some people like to have it a little bit lower. Personally, I like to stay on the high end, not for any magical benefits, purely for satiety. And I personally notice a bit of a difference with the higher protein intake. I feel stronger, I feel more recovered. Carbs then, we're at 400 grams, and generally I set these after I've set fats. So fats, they're at that 72 grams. Generally I like to keep them around high enough, around the 70 to 80 grams per day, again for satiety. But wherever you fall, as long as you're falling somewhere within that 0.6 to 1 gram per kilogram range, you're pretty good to go. It comes down to personal preference then after that. So once you have those two numbers set, whatever calories you have left, go to carbs. Just so happened that mine fell on a nice neat number, 400 and 250. After that, kind of within the carbs, we're talking about fiber then as well. A lot of people don't track their fiber, which I don't know how they're tracking the rest of their calories without keeping track of fiber. It's also really good for ensuring you get your micronutrients in, making sure you get your 10 to 12 servings of vegetables per day. So fiber, I'm roughly 50 grams, although most times I'm getting in upwards of 80 grams to 90 grams per day. Like, I eat a lot of vegetables. But wherever you want to go, or wherever you fall rather, it should be somewhere around the 10 to 15 grams per 1,000 calories. Okay. After that then, we have a water goal. I want to be getting at least 3.5 liters per day, and that's roughly 40 milliliters per kilogram. And generally I'm kind of averaging about 6 liters of water per day, but I'm an overachiever, you know. Generally I kind of getting 2 liters in while I'm working out, on top of roughly 4 liters spread throughout the day. Steps wise then, my current goal is to have an average steps per day of 12,000. Some days I don't get up to there, but some days I get 16, 17,000. But wherever you are, you want to be somewhere around that 10,000 or more steps per day. Some people can get away with going lower, some people can get away with going higher, but that's kind of a baseline. And generally, if you're not tracking this, if you're not tracking your, what would be termed your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, there is no reason you should be tracking your cardio then in the gym. It actually is ass backwards and it makes no sense. So track your steps first of all, or track your activity throughout the day through some other means. I'd be happy to hear how you're tracking that. But roughly getting in your steps over 10,000 per day, you'll see a powerful change in your body composition. And then training wise, what I'm looking for, or what I'm searching for, is the perfect repetition. So I've done various methods, various training methods with various goals, learned how to program for strength, learned how to program for body composition, learned how to program for power, all these different things. But currently my main focus is on actually getting perfect execution with every single movement I do. So I'm looking for no wasted movement whatsoever. Really trying to lock down the tempo of my movements, really trying to lock down the intent of my movements, and really trying to lock down the full execution of those movements. I want to have no wasted energy in any of those movements, and that's only going to help me progress in the weights further down the line. Because again, in the industry, people kind of get this in their head that there's this dichotomy: you're either team pink dumbbell or team all the weight, you know. So you're either squeezing the muscle and focusing on that contraction, or you're all about that progressive overload. And it doesn't matter if you're not fully getting connection with the movement or the muscles, as long as you're throwing more weight up on the bar every workout, that's all that matters. I fall somewhere in between, where I want to get stronger, but I want to progressively overload with tension actually on the muscles. Okay, so I'm really focusing this training block, which are probably going to last the next 14 weeks or so, bring me right up to somewhere around Christmas time, I don't know, but roughly 14 weeks anyway, and really just focus on getting stronger, but getting stronger with perfect, meticulous execution. Okay. So after having subjected you to that physique update, I have some shitty squats for you and some skinny legs. So with this program, I'm currently focusing on, again, perfection in my reps, and I'm using the front squat to more effectively target the quads, because as you can see, I ain't got no legs. So yeah, trying to build them up. I have some decent strength. With these, it's only 80 kilos, and I'm pausing all of them. That's going to be my main focus and progression, is building my pause front squat, and so I can really kind of focus in on actually keeping the intent and the tension on the actual quads throughout, because I generally find I shift a lot of tension into my low back, and yeah, I can lift more weight that way, but with these I really just want to actually build some legs. People always ask, how do I have such good mobility for squats? And the simple answer is I don't. I've worked on it, and as you can see, I still have a few issues going on, like that right heel lifts up a lot, and that's because I have a leg length discrepancy, along with having Osgood-Schlatter disease. And then we move on to some Bulgarian split squats. I can't really see it there, but that back foot is actually elevated, and this is a really effective exercise for showing just how skinny my legs actually are. It's one of the downsides to being quite tall, and yeah, it's just something you have to deal with. It's not really an excuse not to train legs, because realistically they're only going to get worse that way, and focusing on getting stronger, getting more tension on the legs is always going to be of benefit if you want to grow your legs. So especially you tall guys out there, like I'm 6'5", you need to be training legs. It's not an excuse. Work on your mobility, train them hard. They'll grow slow as all hell, but they will grow. With these as well, Bulgarian split squats, I find these are really effective because, again, I have a bit of a leg length discrepancy, so focusing in on the tension, or focusing the tension in on one leg at a time, really helps me isolate and actually engage both my legs equally. So it's my right leg that is the issue, so I base my left leg reps off how many I did with my right leg. What is up, guys? Out for a evening stroll, just trying to get my steps in, and by evening I mean like 6 p.m. because both myself and Gary, we get up quite early. We're on that 3 a.m. hype, and there's no real magic in getting up early apart from having time dedicated in the day where you know you're not going to be distracted. You know, like nobody's up at 3 a.m. You know, we used to be on that 4 a.m. hype, but people started getting up, you know, they started getting inspired, so we had to get up an hour earlier. No, but seriously, both of us train early in the morning. I don't know how it's going to be when Gary's in college, but most of my lectures don't start, well, none of my lectures start before 9 a.m. and Raw opens at 6 a.m. So I'll be in Raw 6 a.m. till 8, I'd say, and then head on in to college from there. But back on the steps, it's a powerful tool. You know, if you're not tracking your steps, you're doing yourself a disfavor, or a disservice even, and you're not going to get the cardiovascular benefits that it offers, but also the general health benefits that it offers. You know, there's a whole lot more to it than just accounting for calories, because again, in this industry, that's what we're focused on. Whenever anyone talks about cardiovascular work, we immediately think calories, rather than thinking what it does for the entire organism as a whole. We talk about it as if it's purely a method for changing that calories in, calories out equation, you know, but there is a whole lot more to it. And what we're actually looking to do is improve our fitness and improve our recovery by getting those steps in. So yes, it does benefit us in terms of we're able to eat slightly higher calories, and obviously we have a way of quantifying how much activity we're doing outside the gym. by tracking our steps, but it is a powerful tool, and it is a powerful tool for change in health, you know. So what we're looking for with this is kind of an increase in the stroke volume of the left ventricle of the heart. So we want to get more blood pumped around the body for a given beat per minute, or whatever metric, whatever quantifiable metric you want to have your heart rate in. So whenever your heart rate beats, we want to be pumping as much blood, or well, not as much blood, but as much blood as possible around the body. And one way to do that is to get fitter, you know. And how do you get fitter? You can either do targeted cardiovascular work in the gym, out in the field, or you can get that consistent low-level cardiovascular work by just accounting for your steps, getting walks in, taking the stairs, that kind of stuff, you know, essentially doing what humans are supposed to do, you know. So yeah, if you're not tracking your steps, you better get on that hike. There's a multitude of apps to do it. There's fitness watches, like there's actually no excuse. Generally what I use is the health app on my iPhone, and it just tracks. I always have my phone on me, so it just tracks it as I go about my day. And then I'm using the Health Mate app from Nokia, Withings, whatever that is, purely because it also syncs with the scales I have. And I'll talk you through that scales, because that's essentially what I'm using currently to track my body composition and to track my progress. But we'll get to that in the next video. But for now, I'm gonna continue on my walk and enjoy this lovely evening, and I'll probably get to bed pretty early, around 9 p.m, because I am making a concerted effort to get more sleep in, because obviously that is a vital part of this whole humaning thing. Although again, we are tracking and we are focusing on a lot of health metrics, and struggling with getting the sleep in is a problem. Although I actually fucking love sleep, it is a problem because there is so much work to do in the day, both running a business, and then when I'm back in college, it's going to be even worse. So I'm kind of front loading my sleep now and trying to get, where I can, a consistent 8 hours per day. I might have a nap during the day, which is something new I've brought in, and only in the last 2 weeks or so. I haven't really seen an increased anything from it, but at least I know I'm kind of doing all I can to get my sleep in and account for that. But yeah, I am gonna catch you in the next episode.